where 6 and 7 figure CEOs build their purpose driven legacy businesses through proven branding, marketing, and sales strategies so that they don't have to sacrifice their income and happiness for their mission. Thanks for watching the Life School Masterclass show. Join our Facebook group community of badass mission driven entrepreneurs, and come back next week, same place and time for our upcoming show.
All right, all right. Hello, purpose-driven entrepreneurs. Happy Friday. I hope you are doing well. I'm back with you with another show, an amazing guest and conversation today. We will talk about how to use goal accountability to reach your goals with Sondra Ray. Sondra is an amazing latest acquaintance from my LinkedIn network, so I can't wait to introduce her to you, but also learn a little bit more regarding how to use goal accountability. That is really important for our life and business and aligning that on purpose. So, Sandra, where are you based? Welcome to our show. And I'm so glad to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the opportunity. It is my pleasure to come and speak. I am located in the amazing but snowy and cold Ann Arbor, Michigan. So yeah, we're still looking at winter. We haven't quite got to the spring mode yet, but it's coming. It's coming. So we got another snowstorm last night, this morning. So we're digging out currently, but all good, all good. We have power. We lost power a couple weeks ago for 4 days. So
Mm.
I'm just grateful to have power and Wi-Fi and all those things that we need to run our businesses and do interviews like this. So super grateful.
Yeah, absolutely. We're sending you our warm vibes. We were just chatting before the show how it's been unusually warm for New York. So, yeah, sending you warm vibes for the cold weather up there in Michigan. So, Sandra, I would love to know a little bit more before we dive into today's topic regarding some of the most meaningful points, I guess, in your personal life that led you to the work that you're doing now.
Yes. So how I got led into being an entrepreneur was by, well, actually, it started 12 years ago when I started my health journey, super overweight, super unhealthy, active, trying to be an active mom of five amazing kids, but was barely keeping up. So worked full time and had very active kids that were in all the things, all the sports, all the events. So I was struggling, and I found a group through my brother-in-law that was very big on accountability, walking side by side with you, not only through the fitness journey, but the health journey. So I started creating action plans way back then on how to reach my health goals. Was successful in the first 2 years to release 100 pounds and just be the best version of myself. Started doing 5Ks with the kids. Just was a really, really fun time. My kids were becoming adults. The older kids are, my kids range from 26 to 15. So I have a large age range. But before the oldest ones left the house, we were able to do 3 races and walks. It was walks, but it was fun. And then towards the end, we were able to take the youngest one with us and just show them that you can get healthy no matter what your age, circumstances, or anything is. So, and it really was about goal accountability. It was about being accountable to a coach. Firmly believe in coaches. I have 5 coaches still to this day in different areas of my life, and being able to create those bite-sized action plans and goal setting. So I went on to create a business to help a friend out. It was a health coach who was starting a third business, I think, and needed a virtual assistant. So I took a
Mm.
class, was like, okay, I'll do this part time, and then quickly figured out that I love helping people and I love supporting people in the background, and became an intern in a company. And she's like, "You're really good at this whole asking me what the action plan is. Did I do my task? What is next?" And stuff like that. And so she really encouraged me to get into the goal accountability coaching. And I was loving it. But my day job was not great and was not mentally healthy great. And my husband just could really see that and was like, "I know you've been with the state for 17 years. but I think it's time to move on. And it was very scary. He's a federal employee. I was a state employee, so this was not in either one of our expertise. But I just really surrounded myself with communities and accountability partners and amazing people that had done this journey. And my oldest got pregnant with her first baby, which was my first grandchild. And it was the extra push to get out of the state job because I was gone 12 hours a day. And I did not want to be that weekend grandma vying for all the other grandparents and great grandparents and everybody else's attention that's going to need, come around on the weekends. And I lived 10 minutes from her, but I worked like 3 cities over. So she leveraged herself really well and was like, "Hey, mom, don't you want to be a grandma and be able to like see your baby through the week? And I'll pay you a fraction of the cost of daycare if you could help out a couple of days a week." Part-time so that you could still work your business. And of course I jumped and that was in 2019, put my termination notice in on my 45th birthday and was like, here goes nothing. So
Yeah.
took the leap of faith and was able to
Mhm.
gave birth in October or August. And then was able to be in Florida last year when she gave birth to the twins. So it's been an amazing experience
Wow.
able to have that
What
flexibility.
a journey. What a journey. I could definitely, that's what I was about to say. Your daughter's very smart in leveraging
I tell her that.
that.
I like you played me a little. And she's like, yeah, no.
No, she just created a win-win. She was smart. She knew what she was doing. But I always say, I mean, I'm not a grandparent yet, but I see my parents and they're like, whatever, we couldn't do with you, they kind of want to do it with the grandkids. So it's kind of like they have them, grandpa and grandma, wrapped around their fingers. So I could see how that always plays out. I love that. So Sondra, obviously your life experiences led you to the work you're doing today, and doesn't it always lead us there, right? So back to what you mentioned between your health journey and your health goals is where you started this whole journey of goal accountability, all the way to now you are teaching other people how to do so. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, what is your take on goal accountability? So why is goal accountability important to entrepreneurs?
I think as an entrepreneur, we talk about business plans and systems and processes and things. I find that the goal part is more of where do you want to get to? Yes, you have a business plan and your goal could be income goal, it could be client based, it could be time based. I think goals go across the whole spectrum of entrepreneurship because you can have a goal in pretty much every part of entrepreneurship, whether it's marketing, whether it's social media, like goals fit all of those. And I always say goals fit across all types of entrepreneurship. I've worked with everything from language coaches to web developers to app developers. Like everybody's got goals. You got to kind of know where you're going and the target you are shooting for is so important as an entrepreneur. We need to know what we want to shoot for. Otherwise, you're just kind of flailing around in the ocean going, okay, I might want to be a speaker today and a assistant
Mhm.
tomorrow. And so it's just that raft to hang on to. Okay, this is the journey I want to go on. And I firmly believe people have goals. Sometimes they just need somebody to listen to them to figure it out. So I really do
Mhm.
believe goals are super important for everybody in all parts of your business.
I could so resonate with that, and it's so true. I think it is a very overwhelming sometimes because the goal could be in the business. There's so many goals that make up the entire your day to day operations, and as you grow and evolve, you're doing a million things as a solopreneur, especially. I mean, when you get a little bit, I guess you grow up a little bit more. You can have team and all of that, but the beginning you are doing it on your own, and it just feels like okay, overwhelming and a lot of goals for them to be able to sustain them. There's got to be a whole process involved. So I'm curious to see what your take is on that. And so my next question is, how do we prioritize on what goals to really focus on? Because I just know from my personal experience that when we focus on too many things, it's just, first of all, we get overwhelmed. And the other part is like, we don't really make the progress we wanted in those areas because we're diluting our energy between all these different efforts. So, what's your take on that?
I fully agree. I am very big on the pick three. pick 3 areas that you're going to focus on for a certain time length. That could be a week, that could be a month, that could be a quarter. You decide on what you need to accomplish it. But the pick 3 method, yes, keeps you from feeling the overwhelm, feeling like I got to do all those things as a solo entrepreneur. Yes, I fully understand that. So, yeah, the pick 3 areas that are going to move the needle the most. So, if your yearly goal is to make X amount of money, what are the 3 goals that are going to get you there? Like, take a so you're looking at the big picture, but drawing back to the small steps in between. Um, and that's usually where I find entrepreneurs have the bigger visions, but it's shrinking it down into those small, like you said, day to day, week to week goals and action steps. So I definitely firmly believe in picking 3. I also believe figuring out your zone of genius. So where's your sweet spot? Where do you shine? Are you a speaker? Are you the marketer? Are you uh, the social media guru? Like, where are you going to shine in your business? Yes, you got to show up on all those things. But if we can figure out where your sweet spot is, then we can start getting creative on like how to figure out how to outsource the rest. I was an intern. I've done barters. I've hired my 15-year-old because in the States we can do that and there's a tax break. There's like just so many different ways that we can do that and get you to focus on your goals and your specific sweet spot so that we can figure out how to outsource the rest. And I do think it helps if you can bring in a business coach or a business partner or accountability coach or somebody that can look at the bigger picture and help you decide what are those top 3 things that you need to focus on and how can we figure out to outsource the rest. So yeah, I'm very big on the pick 3.
Love that. Pick 3. It's easy to remember 1, 2, 3, and it's easy to focus on them as well as you are, because we know that it's not in the big goals, that we achieve things, is the daily action. So breaking those down into your day-to-day activities and not being so attached to the actual result is what will get you to the result, right? And a lot of times it's like vice versa. We're focusing on the result, but we're not really clear on what are those tactics or strategies or things that we're going to focus on, or action steps to get to, that result that we have set out for ourselves.
Yeah, and there's one more thing I
Mhm.
want to mention on that is review. Review is so, so important. And I'm not talking yearly, quarterly. I'm talking week to week. Review those week to week goals, the month goal, because you can apply the lessons. Don't believe in failures, believe in lessons. You can apply those lessons so much faster and tweak the plan. No plan is perfect. I don't care. I'm not very big on perfect plans. There's just no such thing. Life's going to happen. I did not know I was going to lose power for 2 weeks ago. Like, life is going to throw you a curveball as soon as you think you have a perfect plan. So reviewing those from week to week, I find people get so much better and higher results because they can tweak the plan versus somebody that looks month to month and goes, oh, wait, it fell apart day 5 and 25 days later, I'm just now looking at the lesson that I could have applied and gotten so much further. So that review part and tweaking, being willing to tweak, because some people are married so hard to the plan that they're like, nope, got to do this, even though it is not working, it is not getting results. Uh, why? Like, why are we so why do we get so fixed in that? So yeah, tweaking and being flexible and reviewing are also, like, I think the other layer that I have very much teach my audience.
Yeah, thank you for saying that, because I also have learned to plan my year in 3 months increments, because it's a shorter, narrow time view of where I can also do that, review, reflect, adapt, see how I'm doing, what else is it I need to change, because it is always a process of continuous improvement and planning a year ahead. I mean, I can plan like maybe a bigger vision than I have for the year. Fine, that's great, but then that's got to come now down to like, action steps that I could start putting and implementing in my 3 month or 1 month or 1 week increment to make that happen. But then I also realized some things that I thought I was going to focus on for the year might not be necessarily the next thing right in front of me. It might be something that the timing is off. I thought I wanted to get it done maybe in the next 3 months or 6 months, but because there's other action and momentum that I built, it just makes more sense to just leave that off for a little bit and kind of focus on what's right in front of you, what's right in front of my plate, so to speak. So I think it's very important to be very flexible with this and not be so hard-headed like I was, into like, I want to get it done and I'm going to get it done now, right? So it's more like harmony, playing with it intuitively, picking up where your momentum is, where your actions are, and also reflecting back, which I think is where we get the lessons, but we also are working smart. We're working on purpose. We're not working hard. Who wants to work hard? We want to work smart, right? So there's, what is it that they say? And I'm curious, and that's actually my next question
Work
for you.
smarter, work smarter, not harder. Like,
Exactly. And
I
they
tell my
say,
15-year-old, I'm like, why are you making this 10 times harder than it has to be? Work smarter than harder. And of course I get the teenage
yes.
eye glare, but I'm like,
80% of
why?
our results are from the 20% of our actions, right? It's because we think
Exactly.
we just need to do so much, but it's not. Yeah,
Right.
so true.
100%.
Sandra, what about the process of goal achievement? So based on the process that you work on with your clients, can you give us a few maybe action steps towards your framework that can shed some insight into the process part of goal achievement and goal accountability?
Right. And we kind of already talked about that, you do want the bigger goals, but you need to break them down into quarter, monthly, weekly. Um, so definitely one of those is to be writing your goals on a daily, keeping your goals in front of you. There's something about the writing, the physical writing. I'm digital, I get it, but there's something about that physical writing that has done even a shift in me in the last 6 months about physically writing down my weekly goals and keeping those in front of me. Dry erase board above my head here has them on it too, so they're visually here too. But literally keeping those written down is extremely important and keeps it in front of you because I've not done that in the past, and people be like, "What's your weekly goal?" And I'm like, "Oh, I don't remember. That was like Monday." So definitely that. Uh,
I know I set a goal, but it's just not top of mind anymore because of everything else that
Right,
we are
yeah, life
doing.
happened, yeah, well, I don't remember. I'm on accountability call daily, and so, yeah, they'll on Friday, they'll be like, "Did you achieve your goal for Monday?" And I'll be like, "Wait, can you remind me what it is?" So I've definitely been guilty of that for sure. The other thing is that I'm very big on bite-sized action plans. So taking your goal and literally creating, you can call them mini goals. I call it bite-sized action plan. I think it's just because you're taking action. But each action step needs to list who, where, what, when, and how. Who's doing the action? When are they doing it? Where are they doing it? You know, when's it going to get done? A deadline, so on and so forth. I always use blog writing. Like most people know, research, keyword research, write a draft, but then there's like send it to an editor, send it to the graphic designer, and this might be all you, but there's still all these steps you got to do. And you have to keep that in mind when you're like, I want a blog post for April, but my editor needs this amount of time, the graphic designer needs this amount of time, I need this amount of time to do the research. And taking that into those bite-sized steps keeps you on track because if you want a blog piece in 2 weeks, but your turnaround from everybody else takes 4 weeks, it's not going to work. Like the math doesn't work. So when you like break it down into those bite-sized pieces, people you can see that. And then the second part of that is also helps with outsourcing. If people know the steps, they can help you or you can figure out what you need. You need a graphic designer. Maybe that's not your shining point. Maybe it's going to take you 2 weeks and you can pay somebody that's going to take 2 days. So it really, that bite-sized action plan, I don't have a customized template. It really has to do with your goal and your process. I also firmly believe everybody has a process because y'all do stuff in a way,
I agree.
but you might not have that state like those fancy standard operating procedures and processes. And I'm like, you do? You just don't call them that. I had somebody do that 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, just write down everything you do and how you do it. And he timed it and he wrote it out and figured out. He just emailed me 2 days ago and he goes, I figured out it wasn't a VA. I needed a web tech person. I've hired them, I've trained them, and I'm going on my first vacation in 2 years. And I was like, he's like, what, why was that like the easiest thing? And literally the assignment was write out a process for every little task you do, write all the tasks out, and then write the process out. Then we can figure out what you need. So that's a very eye-opening thing for business owners. Entrepreneur, I just wouldn't say business owners, anybody, because we run our households the same way. So finding out the process would be that third thing, the action, bite-sized action plans, and then the third thing is figuring out the processes, and then we can look at how to get help for you or how to outsource that and who can do those things. And nobody's going to do it like you. There's truth in that 100%, but not everything has to be done your exact way. No, because it's not going to be done that way. And as an entrepreneur, I think that the sooner we realize that not everything's going to be done as perfectly as we think we do it, quotations, then we can release that and be like, okay, but it can be done the way I do it to a certain extent, and I can lay it out in a way that somebody else can copy and repeat and produce it in that way. So yeah, those are a couple of things that I work on with my clients.
Oh, I love that. I mean, that is a secret of scaling anything, right? A repeatable process that can be taught to someone
Exactly.
else. If you
Right.
just keep at it, keep doing it, yourself, or you'll just be a slave to the business. And that was never I don't know, maybe for some people it's the goal. For most entrepreneurs who wanted freedom,
Right.
that was never the goal. So I so highly agree with you, Sondra. Everything is a process. Even when I work with my clients around building a program around their offer, I'm like, you have a process, you have a way of how you are now. Can we draw a framework out of that? How you are helping people, getting them the result that you want to you feel most called to deliver for them. So you do have a process. There are steps in place, and when you do
There
write
is.
that, you have the topics and you have the curriculum and all of that. So it becomes so much easier to also articulate that, because now it becomes real. It's not like, well, foo-foo language, like I help people with that, but what specifically is it? What is your framework? What is your process? And that also helps you build your credibility in the marketplace, because now you have a proven process that you're taking people through, and you have the verbiage behind it. So it's so much more tangible, and people can touch, feel, and see that. And it really makes a difference for a lot of people as well. Sondra, we have reached the end of our interview. You've given us so many amazing insights. I really appreciate all the wisdom you shared with us today. I usually ask my guests at the end for a final message from their school of life, and also where is it that people can find out more about all your amazing work.
So my final message is one that I become known for, I guess. Um, it's scientifically proven that your brain is made for processing, not storing. So keep things out of your head. I also very much do actually teach a workshop on brain dumping, brain keeping things out of your head, especially as an entrepreneur and a mom. We got 1,005,000 lists in our head. I was in the shower this morning, like brain would not stop. So
Mm.
keeping things out of your head is so extremely important so that you have more processing power. And I always find that once I sit down and brain dump, I can free up so much creativity, so much more energy, even around that. So that is something, even my 15-year-old will call me out on that. If I am acting crazy on the weekend and like we got to do a million things and I can't tell anybody what we need to do, and she'll be just like, "Okay, mom, will you please brain dump so like we can get moving with our weekend and figure it out." So,
We
love
learn from the
teenagers.
best.
Love teenagers. So I'm very big on that. So yeah, that and life has taught me that. At one point, I had children in the home and taking care of my own parents, and I and a full-time job. So I've worn it seems like I've always worn 10 to 15 hats at a time. So brain dumping is my lifesaver. And I definitely fully believe in that. So that would be my final thought, that your brain is made for processing, not storing. So please write it down.
Yeah.
And you can find
Amen.
me. My website is www.ray-va.com. And I am on Facebook at Get It Done with Sondra Ray. Instagram, Get It Done Coaching, and LinkedIn is Get It Done Coaching. So, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so
All
much for the
right.
opportunity.
Thank you for coming on our show and all the beautiful wisdom you shared. And definitely follow Sondra. She's also on our Facebook group, The Life School, which is where the show also streams live. So easy way to connect with one another, collaborate, build relationships. That's always what it's always about. So Sondra, again, thank you for everything you shared. And I will see you guys next time. And just to remind you before I go, this show is also available as a podcast and YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So subscribe to both so that we can bring you more amazing guests just like Sondra. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your Friday. Bye, everybody. Bye, Sondra.
Bye.
Join our next high-level community event where you will meet over 30,000 purpose-driven entrepreneurs, and you can build meaningful relationships with high-level visionary leaders that will really stem from beautiful conversations, connections for future brand building, collaborations, and also client attraction. Find out more about the next networking event that we are organizing and join us for free to see if this is a community that aligns with you, your work,